friends. My name is Miss Clark and I'm from Iowa State University, and I'm going to be teaching you today about shapes. Can anyone tell me what this shape is? Yes, Trevor?
A triangle.
Good. And can anyone tell me anything you notice about this shape? Does it have straight sides? Any example? Leah?
It has 3 edges.
It has 3 edges. Very good. Anything else you'd like to add, Trevor? Anything you notice about this shape?
It has 3 sides.
Yes, very good. Now let's compare these two shapes. What do these shapes have in common? Do they both have straight sides? Is there anything you can tell me that is similar about these two shapes? Leah?
They all have straight sides.
They all have straight sides. Very good. Anything else that you would like to add that you notice about these shapes?
They both have corners.
They do both have corners. Very good. All right. Let's talk about what we have just observed and told me about both of these shapes is what we will be doing today. I want to talk to you about shapes just like we did, and we will be able to describe similarities and differences about shapes. Let's start to make a list of shapes that shapes have in common, which are called characteristics. So we're going to make a list of characteristics of shapes today. Can anyone tell me a characteristic of a shape?
How many sides it has?
Yes, number of sides. That is what we just talked about with the triangle and the octagon, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's another type of characteristic that shapes have?
The corners or edges.
Yes, they have corners and edges. Do all shapes have corners and edges?
No.
No. So does that mean there's another characteristic we can add?
Some don't.
Some don't have shapes or corners and edges. So we'll write no corners and edges. If shapes don't have corners and edges, does that mean that they have a straight side or a curved side?
Curved.
A curved side, so some shapes can have curved sides. Alright, so if some shapes have curved sides, then does that mean that some shapes have a different type of side? What would that side be? Would it be a straight side?
Curved.
If they have curved sides, then that means that they wouldn't have any type of edges. So if they have edges, what type of side would that be? Would that be a straight side? Should we write that on our list? All right, friends, that is a very good list that we have just made. All right, and now we are going to, the shapes we have just talked about, and all these shapes have characteristics that are in common, and that's what our list is for. For an octagon, you can see the number of corners and the number of sides. So you can see the number of corners and the number of sides, and then you could name this shape having a characteristic of having 8 corners and 8 straight sides. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. If there was another shape such as a triangle, then that means that this triangle has 3 straight sides and 3 corners. Is that correct?
True.
Okay, so now we can begin to make a group of shapes that have corners and have sides. So you can group those two shapes together as having the same characteristics. If I look at a circle, it does not have any straight sides, right? It has one curved side, which is a characteristic that we made on our list here. The circle could start a group of curved side shapes, or it could start a group of no corners. This shape has no corners, so you could start a group of shapes that don't have any corners. So, does everyone feel comfortable with being able to identify the characteristics of shapes and being able to start to group them with similar characteristics, just like our list here? Okay. Now that we have created this wonderful list here on this piece of paper, let's start to make characteristics from our list. Make shapes that have the same characteristics from this list. For example, you can make a shape that has curved sides or straight sides. So who here likes Play-Doh? Does anyone like Play-Doh? Yes? Okay, well I brought some here today to help us make shapes and define some characteristics of shapes. And we're going to notice some similarities between them, okay?
Ooh, new Play-Doh.
So when we make these shapes, keep them put together and until I say you can squish them and put them back into your jar, okay? Great job, friends. And now we're going to start making shapes. Remember to keep your shape how it is. And let's make a shape that has 5 corners and 5 straight sides. It might be a little bit harder with Play-Doh, but I can help you.
Five corners and 5 sides.
5 corners and 5 sides. Yeah, you can just mold your shape in so that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides on the outside. Very good, your shapes are looking wonderful. I like the different techniques you're using. Leah over here is making her shape just as the outside and Trevor is making a whole shape.
Whose is better?
They are both wonderful. Alright, I'm going to get some more Play-Doh here.
Stop it.
Alright, here's some more Play-Doh if anyone needs any. Alright, very good, friends. Now can you make a shape that has 4 corners and 4 sides?
Can we smush them?
Yes, you may squish them right now, yes. Play-Doh is very fun.
I'm shaking the camera.
So make a shape that has 4 corners and 4 sides, which you may know the shape is a square. That's what you're making right now. Very good, friends. Those look like wonderful shapes. Now I'm not going to tell you what shape to make. Can you make a shape that has any characteristics from this list? So you can make any shape you'd like as long as it has some type of characteristic on the list we made. Now what characteristic does your shape have, Trevor?
Curved sides.
It has curved sides, so that means that it doesn't have straight sides either, right? So you could actually characterize that one in 2 different ways. Yes. Leah's shape is looking wonderful. Now what characteristics does your shape have, Leah?
Has straight sides and corners.
Yes, it does. Very good. All right. Does anyone have any questions so far? Okay. Now that we have completed making some shapes, I want you to, I'm going to give you an envelope with different shapes inside. And what I want you to do, here's your envelopes. You can set the Play-Doh to the side now, friends, so we can put those away. Put this back in here. And today I'm going to let you keep the Play-Doh so you can take it home and you can play with it. Yes, that is my gift to you for letting me teach you today. Okay, so the envelope I have just given you has different shapes inside. And what I want you to do is use what you have learned today and using the list of the characteristics of shapes that we have made. And I want you to start to categorize your shapes by the characteristics that they have. And by categorizing, I mean putting them in groups that have similar characteristics. So for example,